Check this out. Powered by the new GPT 5.4, this bot just read the web, filtered out the noise, and handed me decision-ready briefing. And the catch? I didn't even write a single line of code to build this, and neither will you. Most people try to stay informed using Google Alerts or Twitter. The result? They get spammed with the same exact headlines, and to break this pattern, we are building an autonomous Telegram bot which crawls the web, remembers every briefing it ever sent, and refuses to repeat old news. You might think, what are we going to use? Well, we are using Codex, the AI assistant software developer by OpenAI. Along with that, we'll be using GPT 5.4, which is the newest model released by them as well. So let's talk access. I'm using the Codex Windows application, but if you want, you can even use it using the Codex extension in any of your IDE. There's also an option to access this directly in your browser. All you have to do is go to gpt.com/codex. Now that's out of the way, let's talk about this interface. We are starting off by adding a project from this button right here in your sidebar. Now the folder is open, and in here you can simply talk about what you are going to create. Okay, before writing any prompts, let's understand what we are building. Because if you skip this part, you won't be able to fix it when something breaks, and something will break. The agent has exactly 3 components. First one is the interface, which is Telegram. That's your input and your output. You send commands to it and it sends briefing back to you. Simple. Second is the brain and the hands, which is GPT 5.4. It does 2 things. It reasons, figuring out what matters, and it acts using native web search to find the news that actually matters. And feature number 3 is the memory. This is the most important part, which can make or break this bot. So we'll be using a local SQLite database to store every briefing the bot has ever produced. Then before GPT 5.4 writes a new briefing, we inject the last 72 hours of history directly into its context window. It reads what it already told you, and then it only tells you what's new. And that is the main highlight of our bot. So let's start building it. Okay, here's the master prompt. It's a single instruction that lays down the features of the whole project. It's literally pretty neat. It lays down the tech stack that is about to be used, the core architecture and features to be implemented, and that's about it. But to make sure that we are hitting all the accuracy, I'm going to switch to the plan mode. Instead of just jumping straight into production, we'll plan it out so that our production runs smoothly. So if I hit send on this prompt right here, so this is what the planning mode sets. It will ask you questions that helps you customize your application better. And the best part is that you can even write your custom options if that is not available in the given options. And then GPT will give you a whole plan, including all the implementations that needs to be done. And once you approve that, it will start on the implementation. Okay, but I escaped that, dismissed it, because I wanted to talk about this. First off, we are choosing the GPT 5.4 model, and again in your add button you'll see this speed option. This is the newest feature of 5.4 where you can adjust the speed of your response. Right now I'm using the fast one, so now I'll turn off this plan mode, and I'm going to also change the reasoning to high instead of low. Those are all the changes, and now I'm going to let it implement this plan, and it has started. Okay, so more or less it has implemented the bot from scratch but doesn't have any live access because the token for Telegram bot as well as Google API key has not been added. And we are about to change that. First off, let's get our Google API key. Okay, so it's about time I'll have to switch to IDE because I will have to add environment variables. So I'm going to use this OpenNN VS Code, and here we go. We have all the files right here. In this, we are going to open up this env.example, and here's where you'll add your Telegram bot token as well as your Google API key. So let's start off by getting our Google API key. Simply head to aistudio.google.com. In here, click on Get API Key, and you'll have a default API key ready for you. All you have to do is copy this, go back in your env, replace your Google API key with the key that you just copied. I'm not going to show it over here, but you get the point, right? Okay, next for your Telegram bot, you'll have to search for a bot called Botfather. I'm just using Telegram web. If you want, you can even use the mobile application. Now, I like to use the bot builder application that comes in the web interface. I don't know if it's available on mobile application or not. You can simply use the commands as well, and the command is simple as new bot, and it will ask you to follow the steps which will help you create a new bot. Now, I'll be using this open button which takes us to this application thingy, and in here you can create a bot by clicking on this button right here, naming your bot whatever you like. For now we are calling it daily AI briefer, and next you'll have to add a unique username for your bot. Only thing that you need to keep in mind is to end the name with underscore bot at the end. And there we have our username. Just create the bot and then copy this link, this token right here. Okay, so I've added that as well into my env. Now I can either stay over here, use this codex extension, or I can go back to the codex application. So here I'm going to ask it to do live testing using the now updated env. Okay, the live testing has ended and it gave us list of all the tests that passed, like the Telegram authentication, Gemini authentication, etc. But what it couldn't do is load the chat because we have not started a chat with this bot. So I'm going to go back to my Telegram and start a chat, and now it has the private chat ID, and here we have a response, and now it ran the actual application giving us this briefing right here, which surprisingly enough is divided into geographical location, mentioning news from different regions, I would say. So basically it gave us the briefing on the topic AI regulation, but it's time to customize it. So what we are going to do is use the commands that we asked the bot to implement. First off, we had the command deep dive that will trigger a research immediately. So what we are going to do is use this command deep dive into, let's say, GPT 5.4, and here's the response that I got, which is the features and capabilities of the newest GPT 5.4 model, along with the variants and API pricing, which is perfect. Another command that we can use is the track command. So if I go ahead and add a topic into my tracking list, like let's say image generation model, so it will now check for this topic once in a 24-hour and give us update every time there has been new releases in this topic right here. So I don't know about you, but this is a game changer for me personally, because I hate to read news and keep tracks of things. Other than that, it does store all the previous responses in a database. I mean, take a look at this. It has added the topic as well as full text, so this will give us all the context. Other than that, it also has the tracked topics down in this database, which will give it the memory it needs for efficient and smooth workflow. Now this is only possible because ChatGPT has like 1 million token context window, so it can keep track of all the chat, processing larger files, etc. So that's basically our whole autonomous bot ready using just a single prompt, more or less. And this is literally just one of the few use cases we can use GPT 5.4 for. Honestly, this is the easiest one. Let's do one full end-to-end run. Started off with a prompt that mentioned all the features, got our Google API key from AI Studio, set up the Telegram bot, send it a message which enabled the workflow, and then tested out the application. Pretty simple, right? Now, if you don't want to follow the same workflow, you can even break it down into multiple steps and implement them as you go. It honestly depends on you how you want to work. Also, do use the planning mode because it helps you more than you think. So that's basically how you create an autonomous bot under 12 minutes using GPT 5.4. Before you go, one question: what feature would you add to this bot next? Drop it in the comment and I'll see you in the next one.